Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and Disney did it again with Disney Plus and brought another remake coming your way. Just kind of think it's really interesting that it's like Disney Plus originals. None of them are original. Obviously, some of them are. But you had Lady and the Tramp, you had Togo, and now you have this, and there's going to be more remakes coming your way, and it looks like Peter Pan with Wendy, Cruella might be coming your way on Disney Plus, but for now, we're talking about Black Beauty. And I don't recall ever reading the book Black Beauty, but I do recall having watched and owning the 1994 Black Beauty movie. Don't remember it. Just look it up today. Sean Bean was in it. Makes me want to kind of watch it again. I bet he dies in it. But you know, that's Sean Bean. But anyway, talking about this one, so Disney Plus's new version of Black Beauty is a more modern retelling. It takes place in modern times. And it's interesting with that kind of perspective on it because it feels like a very traditional kind of film. It's interesting, like, watching this now and not having seen this in a long time or having read the book in a long time, it kind of reminded me a lot of, like, War Horse, where this horse goes around to a whole bunch of different people and you see this horse being owned by a couple of different people. And one of the trickiest things I feel like what they did with this particular version of Black Beauty is that they set it up where Black Beauty is at a nice place to start and is there for a while and then goes to another place, what seems like temporary and is going to be coming back. And this is like probably half or more than half of the movie. And then it starts shooting Black Beauty to all these different other places with different people, and they felt rushed and don't feel like they were fully realized. They had some poignant moments at different parts of those scenes, but it never felt like it dug deep into those experiences, and it kind of messed up the pacing because it felt like you were taking your time really investing in this particular story at the beginning of the film, and then bam, for like the less than half of it is zipping all over the place, and then they feel rushed, and you don't feel like you get as much out of it. And you start off with Ian Glenn, who Sir Mormont from Game of Thrones plays this man who takes in this Mustang and is trying to remember be its partner instead of like breaking the horse. That's trying to soften some of the language that Mackenzie Foy, his niece, whose parents die and now comes to live with him, because, you know, this might be like a nicer, easier kind of watch kind of film, but doesn't stop it from being a Disney movie where parents die and some dark crap happens throughout this movie. And that's interesting because, like, totally, I felt like the film never digs too deep into that, where those hits really hit hard. I think from the acting, you get those emotional moments. Like, Mackenzie Foy does a really fine job as this main girl in the film. Ian Glenn does a really fine job in his role. And, like, Claire Florani is just, like, a horrible person in one of her supporting roles. Most of the other characters aren't in it enough and aren't developed enough to really stick out. And that's one of the issues with the film, is that besides maybe Mackenzie Foy's character, you don't really get too deep with any of the human characters in this film. You get plenty of Black Beauty, and Kate Winslet voicing the horse, which some of it really works. Kate Winslet's great. She does a really good job of doing the narration, but some of it's heavy-handed. It's not the most subtle or meaningful narration. It could be over-explaining things a lot of the time, and sometimes I felt like it could have really just worked with just the silence from the horse, but just seeing what's going on instead of having it told to us. It is a film you can see, and it's a visual media, so it's hard at those times, and it's just like, okay, but at least it's Kate Winslet and she does a really good job. And I felt like this film hits on some important themes and nice beats and some emotional moments all thrown in there. But I felt like you probably should have spent more time on beauty, because there's whole sections of the film really just focusing on Mackenzie Foy's character and her budding love for this rich kid and all of that stuff. And it's just like, thought this was about beauty. And Beauty is the most interesting character in the film. Most of the human characters not interesting at all. They're either stereotypes or just kind of your standard affair kind of protagonist antagonists. And I felt like this film does have quite a bit to say in terms of themes, and it does have those emotional moments, and it's a fine watch. But in the end, I felt like Black Beauty was just kind of conveyor belt. Here you go. Let's take this story, do some things with it, and deliver some of these check boxes, and just put it out there. It's an hour and 50-minute stream for people, their families to watch during the holiday season. And I think families will enjoy it. And I think a lot of people will sit and enjoy this film. It's not anything particularly special, but I think it's a serviceable adaptation and a modernization of the story, even if it feels rushed at times and a little clunky. Some of the human characters and the performances are very wooden. There's one particular section of the film with this one family, poor family, who does one of those, like, the carriage rides in, like, Central Park. Their dialogue was really, really awkward and wooden. Kind of took me out of the film. But in general, Mackenzie Foy, Ian Glenn, they do really fine jobs. And Kate Winslet really does a strong performance vocally for Beauty. And in the end, I think this is a fun time. And an enjoyable time, even if it isn't too special. But those are my thoughts on Black Beauty. Let me know what you think. Let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.